content. Shilling. What's wrong with Brie Larson now? The fandom is broken once again. These shills, grifters, and nils have ruined everything. Now it falls to me to assemble a crew to fix this broken fandom. Computer, find me a video games expert.
Name Mr. Green Expertise Video Games, codename The Great Daitokuji.
I need an anime expert.
Name Mr. Blue Expertise Anime and Comic Books, codename Kenshiro.
I need a movies and collectibles expert.
Name Mr. Black Expertise Collectibles and Movies, codename GQ.
So yeah, it's going to be a great episode today. We've got Megatron from RoboSyn, and it's going to be a good unboxing too.
Finally, I need an operator.
Name Mr. Red Expertise Wrestling and Comic Books, codename Simon Says.
Acknowledge me! The team is complete. Computer, assemble the Culture Junkies live crew. That's fine. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is GQ checking in with, and I'll let him introduce himself, with Simon Says, Kenshiro, and
Megatron.
So we are here for Culture Junkies Live. We are going to be having a ton of fun. This man's talking about F1
It's
for
a
some
great
reason.
movie.
It looks like it's gonna be a good movie.
Okay, fine. I mean, Days of Thunder was the last time.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's NASCAR, not F1.
I don't care. Go ahead.
No, I agree. That's the last. Days of Thunder was the only one I recent game.
even more
movie I've seen.
reason why this movie's gonna be great.
Again, Brad Pitt, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's Brad
I
Pitt.
appreciate Brad Pitt.
Damson,
he does a great job.
Idris.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem, yeah.
All right, so
The
it's
cast
got
is
a
there.
solid cast.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to the theater to see.
Yes, that is the reason why. Listen, you bought that man's pop bucket. He is the king of return to the theater.
Yes,
so
he
you
is.
must return to the theater
Yes, he
for
is.
F1
Yes.
from a sound standpoint.
I guess
from how it's gonna look.
So I guess we starting off with the Mission Impossible Return to the Theater.
Damn
I mean, you might as well start
And
with
that's
the
perfectly
popcorn
it's
bucket
the
and all
final
this.
reckoning.
I
Yes.
understand that. In all fairness, I went to the first Mission Impossible in theaters
Of course.
because it was awesome.
It was.
1996. It's funny to believe the movie franchise is almost.
You've never seen me upset. Oh
Exactly.
man, who knew we'd
Yeah,
be
it
here?
was-
Yeah,
so long
20
ago.
years later.
And what did he do right after that? Ran out the room.
He been running ever since.
Exactly. So it's
Smack that gum, smacked it against the fish tank.
Yeah, red light, green light, man.
Yeah, man. Green.
It's always interesting to see how Tom Cruise he keeps kicking it up a notch. But funny to think that he was I want to say 31 when he did that first film, and it's
I got
crazy.
time.
Yeah,
I got time.
no, absolutely. But it's like
You got time? Yeah.
I got time.
Yeah.
He's 31. I
You
got
do.
time.
it's
Yeah, you do.
almost 30 years later though. That's insane. Appreciate Big Preem checking in, and also
Gap Man.
There he is.
Very,
Hey,
very cool.
I don't know how he got my things,
Your emojis,
but he got them.
I guess.
Well,
they're-
all right.
I guess they're tied to his account.
I guess
somehow.
I'll highlight that so people can see. it.
Hello, come on, come on, baby.
Can't nobody tell what that is. Look like a damn
they know,
chocolate.
really. They know
Yeah,
that.
they don't
They
know.
know.
What is it supposed to be? A chocolate figure?
No, it's me.
It's you.
with lasers coming out my eyes. They know
Oh my
that.
God! Can't nobody see that?
Well,
You
they
can't nobody
better-
see
they
that.
better, pinch and zoom.
Can't nobody see that.
All right, so on the Mission Impossible thing, it will put this to bed. For Mission Impossible, this is the 8th film. Obviously, it was going to originally be called Dead Reckoning Part 2, but they decided to change it to the Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning.
What are we expecting to see out of this? Because, I mean, obviously, who knew all the way back then that they were going to get beyond just the first movie? Because the first movie ended, they set up, well, okay, he's going to have his own team and he's going to carry on. But it's like, okay, how far is this going to go? And here we are in 2025 about to see the last one.
So clearly we're going to see a bunch of crazy stunts because, Tom Cruise is always known for that. Crazy stunts, a lot more Haley Atwell, which I'm never mad at that. Never mad at that.
Even Sue Storm, I believe is
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, the surprise kiss queen.
Yes, right. Yes. Esai Morales, I'm looking forward to seeing him in action as well. Because, man, I'm telling you, there's not a lot of good things about that Titans TV series.
But
his Deathstroke was one of them. His Deathstroke.
A1.
Yes.
A1.
A1. His Deathstroke was one of them.
Was
yes.
awesome.
His Deathstroke was awesome. Yes, 100%. Other than that, I'm interested to see how this whole thing with the rogue AI thing gets resolved, and if you know what, I'll save it. I'll have a question for you guys a little bit later. So you guys go ahead.
Simon says, what you think about it? Thoughts of the final Mission Impossible film?
Y'all gonna hate me, but I kind of stopped at 3.
Okay. So when J.J. Abrams took over, you were like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I was
this man.
I was kind of like I'll be honest with you. I saw part 2, and I was like, it was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah,
it was all right. It's John Woo, man. What are you talking about?
What has he done lately?
Oh,
hey.
Blasphemy!
That's fair.
I get
it's
that,
fair.
but it's still, it was at the time it came out.
His heyday. But ever since then,
I am a slice of pumpkin pie with a graham cracker crust. Sorry, I was.
I'm trying to be
focused.
I'm being controversial here today.
Okay,
let me do that.
That's cool.
That's your controversy.
Yeah, no, I did like part 3. Part 3 was good, but after that, I was like, I don't know. I'll get around to watching them. It's just like
I'll get around to it. I'll see it whenever,
and that's fair.
Okay, that's fine.
What you think?
They got better each time. Now, I will say, 2 was the one where I was kind of like, like out of all of them.
Really?
Oh, because it wasn't, like
What?
the villain was kind of whatever. No, I liked the movie.
Okay,
I loved it, but I'm saying as far as the 7 in totality, Philip Seymour Hoffman was
yes, he was a great villain. Yes,
that's the reason why I like 3.
Yes.
Listening
that's why I like 3.
to Alec Baldwin just rail off just paragraphs was all I needed to hear because he was just masterful. Ethan Hunt is the manifestation of destiny. Like he was like, what are you talking about? I didn't like the fact that they were trying to give it to Jeremy, but obviously nothing against Jeremy Renner. But you are, but Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
and obviously that didn't work out. And then it seems that after the one with Henry Cavill, that was the one where I was locked back in.
Yeah.
That is
Fallout.
In my favorite movies, there is Winter Soldier, and somewhere around Winter Soldier is Fallout. There was times I would be in the gym just listening to the music of Tom Cruise running down Henry Cavill. Man, just somebody who appreciates the theater goer, somebody who appreciates the movie making process, and you can tell how much he appreciates it because he puts it all into his films, whether it's Top Gun, whether it's Mission Impossible. So I'm excited, and I don't really get excited for a lot, but to answer your question, I'm imagining other people are going to die because they started to die in the last one, and maybe this might be his final reckoning as well. I will be there tomorrow.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be interesting. My theory, and I've had it since they showed the first teaser trailer for it, is that analyst from the first film is somehow responsible for the algorithm.
Oh.
That's my thought.
The one from the vault where he saw the thing? Okay.
Yeah, because they showed him in the teaser. Then they showed him in the trailer. Then they showed him in the next trailer. I'm like, and they keep doing it like it's a throwaway line of just like, oh, you've been on this journey for blah, blah. I'm like, hold on. your official journey started when you stole that necklace from this guy who got sent to Alaska and they mailed him his clothes.
No.
Oh, the guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses, yes.
I didn't.
Yeah. So I think
Mm-hmm.
he's involved in, because again, he's a computer guy.
Yeah.
They put him in the room
and Ethan
with the
ruined
most
his life.
important computer stuff.
Yeah,
so it's
and
like
Ethan ruined his life,
Yeah,
literally.
he ruined his life inadvertently. So I'm like, I think it's going to come all the way back to him somehow.
That's a hell of a callback.
Yeah. And I would love if they do that. Even if it's just he designed it and somebody else
it's a small nod. Yeah.
and somebody else is over him that's a little bit more diabolical and decides to go. But I'm like, they keep showing him. And it's like there's got to be a reason.
Now, not that you can recall, but if you can recall, have you seen him in any other movie since?
That particular actor?
Yes.
He's in other stuff. Is this again? He was meant to be a throwaway character,
for sure.
So I haven't paid attention. But in the rest of Mission Impossible, he has not showed up at all.
So just imagine, what if you walking down the street, you walking your grandkids somewhere, and motherfucking Tom Cruise is on the phone, said, "Baby, we're back." It's like,
I'm
Tom,
dropping.
Like
Yeah.
Tom, like what are you talking about? And well, we need you.
Yeah.
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 If in fact he is, who
Again,
you are
it's-
speculating.
And again,
that would be
nobody's going to say no to Tom Cruise
Never.
inviting him to be in one of his films, because that's instant notoriety, instant fame, whatever. But like I said, I just think it would be really cool if he's involved somehow for that exact reason. So who knows? We out of the chat, we got the third one was the best one from Yatman. Daidakuchi checking in. We feel better soon, my friend. I'm Rock checking in. What's up, Home Slices? Appreciate you. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Tom Cruise has put his body through hell making these films. Like you said, and with Fallout, he broke his ankle on that one jump and got up and carried up and ran off out of frame to finish the
That's
scene.
a real man
so I'm
right
like, it's going to be interesting. Marcus Pryor is saying he is not a fan of Cavill, but yeah, Fallout was definitely his favorite movie.
He's not a fan.
I guess it's cool. He doesn't count Count of Monte Cristo as his all-time favorite book, which, again, a lot of people don't know that a very young Cavill was in that film.
Yes.
Henry Cavill, to me, he just gets a raw deal from Hollywood in the sense of they messed with his Voltron thing. They messed with his
Man,
Superman,
yes, I do want to talk about that. Yes.
Superman. So it's like Henry Cavill deserves better, in my opinion. 'cause
He's been snake bit somehow, some way.
Don't forget what's in The Witcher too.
Yeah, The Witcher.
Oh, well, no, The Witcher, he walked away. He walked away, and he had his
walked
good
away for
principles.
good reason, though.
Yeah, he had good reason.
He had a damn good reason. Yes,
Yeah,
no, 100%. He 100%.
Yeah.
But separately, I'm getting back to what I'm hoping to see out of Mission Impossible: Your Final Reckoning. I am curious to what the mystery is with Esai Morales' character. What made him have such a hate boner for Ethan Hunt? What made him want to go after him this bad?
Maybe he is the one that had to mail the dude his clothes. Cleaning out this man's closet. Damn it! It could be any number of things, but no, it's in the first one, Dead Reckoning. They hinted at obviously they have some type of shared
history.
background or whatever, history. So we will see. What's up to Fab Nerd Life? Meow Yin checking in.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
hey.
So
Hey.
We will see what happens with that, but it's going to be interesting, in my opinion. I've been very satisfied with the franchise. They've done a great job with it, starting with John Voight and everybody that they had in the first one, all the way to, and again, the second one I liked mainly because of Tandy Newton. She looked her absolute best in that movie.
Yes.
Out of all the stuff she's ever done, she looked her best in Mission Impossible 2, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Let's not forget Paula Patton.
Hello,
who's
sir.
in,
Yes, sir.
Ghost
Yes.
Protocol.
Tom, keep him.
They've had
I'm sorry, Rock
some
Nation.
really
Yeah,
beautiful
Tom
ladies
Keeble.
in this one.
Yeah. So
So,
see.
couple things, real quick. Simon says you are aborted from this conversation because you ain't seen nothing but 3 until 3. Top 3 Mission Impossible movies. Give them to me.
The top 3 would definitely say Fallout because it had a visceral
Is one?
sense. Yeah, it had a visceral sense of it was a spy versus spy thing. They brought in Cavill, like you said. It's and this is how I honestly feel our government actually works in a lot of ways, where like you got CIA does things one way, FBI does things another way, NSA does things a whole different way. So now you got a whole nother thing, IMF, that operates super subterfuge and all that. But it's like, nah, we're sending this dude in, he's a hammer. It's like, skip all that scalpel shit.
Right.
Hammer.
He is a hammer.
Like, and then you really saw that dynamic between the two of them. So that worked out really well. I liked Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation as well as 2 and 3.
Okay.
Because those two movies, brought, linked together so well, and then they brought us that villain. What is his name?
The guy with the Ethan.
Why can't I remember his name? He's got such a Solomon Lane.
Yes.
When they introduced Solomon Lane, that to me was their Blofeld. He was so intimidating on top of stuff. So it's like, it was really cool to see.
And a small guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't
his mind.
imposing.
Yes,
yeah,
his mind.
Very,
yes,
very visceral.
Yeah, so that's what I liked. It was like you said, he's not this big dude that's intimidated. He just walked in.
Yeah,
it's like, I know all of you guys' methods and whatnot. Like when he
a
walked into that
very
record
much
store,
a
he introduced himself.
Very
to him,
dangerous man.
So I was like, I like villains that are like that, where it's just like, he's not gonna beat you up, but he's 3 steps ahead of you,
for sure,
and he's not. He will not hesitate to take you out or anybody that he has to take out. So I was like, that's a cool villain.
What about you?
It's hard. So we'll go Fallout, and my mother introduced me to Mission Impossible. We had the tape. I mean, we saw it in the theater, and then she bought the tape, and I watched.
So you're talking about the first one? Right?
Yes, the first one.
All right.
So that one has to go there because it is, it just it just reminds me of that time, with her, and she's alive, but it just brings me back to that. And then there's some others, but the one was that 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yes, that's 3. Yeah,
just because his performance, I'm
so
gonna
good.
hurt her. You know what I mean? Like his performance was great. So yeah. Those would be my 3.
Okay. For me, I didn't. 2 is not my number 1, but 2 is on my list. Fallout is definitely on my list because of Henry Cavill as well, and probably Ghost Protocol is my other favorite, right? Mostly because of because the stunts in Dubai, the presence of Paula Patton, and the presence of Paula Patton, especially like she was coming right off of her divorce from Robin Thicke. So
you thought you had a chance.
Oh man, hey man,
you thought you had a chance.
She made me think, man.
Okay, hey.
She made me think.
Hey, I get it.
She made me think. I'm just telling you. But
it was spinning little back kick the girl out the window, wasn't it? That's what did it for you.
That's what did it. Her in that dress. Oh man. Anyway, but no, the movie was fantastic. But I it's hard for me. I probably would put Fallout as number 1. I probably would put 2 as number 2 because I think that was the one that made me fall in love with the Mission Impossible movie series. I watched 1, but I wasn't like, I wasn't really blown away by 1. 2 blew me away.
Okay.
Right? 2 blew me away. So anyway, that's mine. But follow-up question to wrap up the Mission Impossible discussion. And it's for you, all you out there as well. I want to hear from you guys as well. Do we really think they're going to put Mission Impossible on the shelf? Do we think this is the end of the series for good?
I think yes. Maybe not like forever, obviously, but I don't think anybody, because if you look at it, who's going to pick up this series and do it justice like Tom Cruise has done for the past 3 decades?
Who do you think has the potential to do it?
Nobody. Honestly, there's nobody out there right now that's on that level that could. Because again, Tom brings not just the charisma of the character, the intensity of the Ethan Hunt character, the really doing his own stunts, and his gravitas of being able to go to any city and get whatever he wants done because he is Tom Cruise.
Correct.
Who goes to the Vatican?
Tom Cruise.
Who is allowed to film at the Vatican? Nobody. So it's like there's going to be a level of just like, okay, this is going to die down for a little bit. Amazon's going to bring Bond back up, for the next thing and fill that void of Bond that we've had for the last 5 years now, almost. So I think Mission Impossible has to be finished because there's again, Jeremy Renner's too old and he's
clearly not in shape to do it anymore.
No.
After what happened to him. Again, nothing against him, but after what happened to him, he's not. And he's again. He was
And
already
even then,
in
I
one.
felt like his character was never really a good one.
Exactly.
You know?
They're not going to let a female do it because people are going to lose their damn minds over that.
What is this woke shit?
Right.
Exactly.
So I think the series needs to just die down for a little bit.
Okay.
Because
No, that's
it
fair.
would be weird to bring somebody. That's like trying to have somebody be John Wick without Keanu.
The Baba Yaga.
Some people feel like Ballerina is maybe trying to be that.
But he's in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
Right, which makes me think, if they were to do this, wouldn't you say Tom Cruise would have to be there to do the passing of the
But
torch?
why would you play second fiddle to a franchise you built completely?
Age. Like, listen, I can't
do this no
man,
more.
So
I get that, but so now you're gonna turn Ethan Hunt into Mr. Phelps now?
well, this is my question I'm posing for all of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
He was very excited to see Michael B. Jordan
Yes, he was.
at the premiere.
Yes, he
he
was.
said that we're doing a movie.
Yeah.
Now,
he
nobody
did.
knows Tom Cruise for being a guy that's just going to sit and there's no action. Now,
No, it's
I'm
gonna
not
get done.
saying
Yeah.
that's what they're doing, but if him and Michael B. Jordan are doing a movie, now, is Michael B., does he have Tom Cruise's level of fire and passion, and as far as being intense, I don't know.
Right.
Is he going to hang out of a 747,
I've yet to see Mike
30,000
B do
feet
something
against the
crazy
air?
like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hold on.
What?
Have y'all seen the Amazon movie? I believe it was like Terminal.
Survivor's Remorse?
Yeah,
Terminal?
Survival Remorse.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, nigga jumped in a burning car.
So, yeah.
No, he does. So
maybe
he
okay.
puts in,
Him
he
and
puts in
Tom-
the work. Absolutely,
He puts in work.
He's young.
he is.
He's in shape.
Yeah. He's the
I'm
only
saying,
one that has the
At least
potential.
You said it because I was going to say it, but I'm glad you did because I was going to say Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, because
Awesome.
he has said publicly we're planning on doing something together, and I don't know if he would want to let this die. Now him and his team, that might be the end of them.
Yeah.
But like you said, in a couple years,
Okay.
I don't know. Because
Like
I've never seen him gush over any man.
Right.
No, that's
Last
fair.
time I seen him gush was the couch.
The Katie Holmes.
Was Oprah's couch.
Yeah.
That was the last
Yeah,
time.
with Katie Holmes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm of two minds about it because you're right. No one is Tom Cruise, right? No one is that crazy, that committed to the stunts like this man.
It was Jackie.
Okay.
That's
That's
Jackie,
going to
man.
be moving forward.
Right,
doing all those
exactly.
films.
Exactly,
Because
man.
even
Right.
Jackie is basically done with
Yeah,
that.
he's done with all. Yeah, man, he can't do that no more. So no one is as committed, dedicated as Tom Cruise is to movie making. This man just went out there and said, "I'm gonna be making movies into my hundreds. I'm planning on living forever." Basically. So I'm never gonna stop making action movies. That's what this man said.
Yeah.
Right. So does anyone have that same level of passion, commitment to the craft, to being an action star? They might be committed to being an actor, right? For
sure.
They might be committed to different roles.
For sure.
Are they committed to the craft of being an action star? We've been starving for someone to take up the mantle of JCVD, of Sly Stallone, of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The most unlikely person was Tom Cruise, if we're thinking about it.
Yeah,
At the time when he took over, he was the most unlikely guy. We thought it was going to be The Rock. It's not The Rock. We thought it was going to be John Cena, maybe. It's not going to be John Cena.
Even
It's
Jason
too-
Statham.
We thought it was going to be
point,
Jason
yeah.
Statham. It's not Jason Statham, right?
Now that you bring that up, nobody would have thought it would be him and Keanu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Now, you could think about it maybe with, Keanu in Speed, which is still, oh my God, that is a fantastic movie. It is.
Yeah.
It is aged so well.
Second one, not so much.
Yeah, not so well. But I mean, that's Jason Patrick. That's not
No,
Keanu.
it's not him. It's
Right.
not him.
So that doesn't really count. But I'm just saying.
I mean, shit, the Matrix, dude. Who would
Who
have thought?
Yeah.
Who thought that
Very
was
true.
Who thought that was going to be like? What the fuck is this movie? And then
Yeah.
you would roll in. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Got got jokes. He said Seth Rogen can do it, man. What? After the Green Hornet, I don't want to see this man in anything
Right.
action again.
But to your point about the Matrix, so the Matrix changed the game in Hollywood, period, because it started to make that, no. you got to train and do these fight scenes so we
Yeah.
can keep the camera on you and stop using stunt doubles and wide shots and face replacement. You got to put the work in. So Matrix changed that for a lot of things. Because then next, you had Born Identity and all the other films that's following suit.
Yeah.
So I think and again, like you said to your point about Mission Impossible and Tom did the whole thing of like, look, y'all don't want me to do these stunts as an actor. I'm just gonna be the producer. And then I'm going to do these stunts. You can't say no. So it's like, and that was a whole different level because that's very, very much like a Jackie Chan type of thing.
Yes.
Of like, I want to do it, and I am going to do it. So like you said, that level of intensity is very rare. Michael B. Jordan is a serious actor. Obviously, we've all seen Sinners now. I think by now, he did his thing in that absolutely, and even seeing the camera rig that they had to do put on him. And him still being able to act with that camera rig on so they could do the twin effect was insane. So who knows? We would accept it because it'd be cool as hell.
Yeah.
A black-led Mission Impossible film, though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's coming from him, I think that would be the only way because Michael B., he's trusted, especially be at the box office.
Yeah.
And, and it's Tom.
Okay.
And they tried it with someone else, and it just wasn't received well. I don't know if it was Renner's schedule. Whatever reason, he ended up not being the guy.
Yeah.
And Tom was like, well, he put that Infinity Gauntlet back on. I said, I guess I got to do this myself.
Right.
So when Ghost Protocol came out and Renner essentially joined the squad, was that right at the beginning of the MCU? Right after he had become Hawkeye, or was that right after the Hurt Locker?
It was probably close to that time frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he basically had to pick between what was going to be the more lucrative check, and I think we could say he probably chose wisely.
Well, yeah.
Well, or maybe not, because you said on the TV show they tried to give him
Yeah,
less money.
Who knows if that's true or not, though.
Long game,
That-
but who knows?
he might be negotiating with that one. Fabner Life says there will never be Mission Impossible without Tom.
Then she said the action star, and that's something, not today,
Unpopular opinion.
but
Yeah.
that's something that I would like to talk about is and this is maybe the Henry Cavill issue, is the removing of the bombshell and the action star.
Okay.
Now, I mean, we have other topics to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
But the strong, masculine,
The stereotypical hero guy.
seems is like even like
Muscle bound
right?
dudes.
Not even muscle bound. Even like from a minus Tom Cruise, we don't see that. That was what we grew up on.
Yeah.
There is no more bombshell damsel in distress. Like the movies are changing to her point, but I think we still need that because that's what drove us all seeing people that were larger than life.
Yes.
If I gotta watch Seth Rogen, go
Seth
into a
Rogen, man.
bank and save.
That was offensive for him to even say that, but yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
It's like they want everybody to feel like they can do it, but you can't.
Oh, no doubt. But okay, I don't know if you guys saw it. I saw it, I want to say 2 weeks ago now, Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
That film was very much, again, completely against the type that you're talking about because Josh Hartnett is not a big dude. In the action sense, he was capable. But the idea of the film was he was the unassuming hero, even though he had skills. They introduced that he had skills and all that stuff down the line because that was the whole idea of like, why are you picking this guy to be your guy to go on this mission?
Right.
And then you get that whole it plays out. Right.
That movie kind of, it was like, I was watch the trailers of it and all. It was like, why does this movie look familiar? And it's like, yeah, this reminds me of Bullet Train.
Yeah, it's very much like Bullet Train. Yeah, it's very much like Bullet Train.
Characters it's like that. But speaking of Josh Hart, I mean, he did have a shot. If y'all remember, Lucky Number 11.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that movie was cool. I like that movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, why does he do more action movies? It's like I know he does like these weird campy movies. That whole movie with Trap was
good,
crazy.
man.
Trap
was good, man.
That was crazy. I
Trap was good.
I think it's not so much that, and you're right. There's never been another Arnold. There's never been another Sly. So I think we were blessed to be in that growing up during that era, where it's just like we got all of those classics. But I think once you got to the Matrix, it changed it. Like I said, it changed it in the sense of how things went, because it's like, okay, you don't have to be super muscle bound because now we're getting into the era of martial arts and gunplay. Anybody can shoot a gun. It don't matter what type of shape you in. Anybody can shoot a gun. So I think once you transition to that side of it, all of a sudden, a lot of movies started to get into that spy game, gunplay, martial arts. True. You know, to a point, because obviously Jackie, you know, coming over and doing some of the films he was doing, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Obviously, that's more martial arts fantasy. Mm-hmm. You got a shift away from that action star, like you said, and I think there's been nobody to fill that role coming in. Jason Statham's close, but he's still more of that spy. Martial arts guy role.
I mean, but he at least looks.
No, he definitely does, because he was an Olympic diver. I think he was in the service, in the British service at some point. So it's like he's clearly could have been that guy.
Yeah.
He just his career path just moved a different way.
So are you saying, just real quick, that I have the Matrix to blame for having to watch DMX fight scenes in Romeo Must Die?
Absolutely.
And then, okay.
No. It's because, like I said, it became a shift. Because think about it, who else was around during Arnold, Sly, and Dolph Lundgren, and even Dolph Lundgren to a lesser extent, because he did obviously Rocky IV was where he was discovered.
Even Van Damme wasn't.
Well, and Van Damme absolutely, but Van Damme was a martial artist.
True.
So that he had he basically owned that side, because none of those other guys were going to be doing that. And then you had, obviously, Sly and Stallone had their rivalry back and forth.
Steve
Rocky.
Seagal, don't think of Steven Seagal.
We can forget Steven Seagal, sir.
He's an official martial artist.
We can forget Steven Seagal.
You're absolutely right.
The same moves over and over and over again.
I grew up watching. Oh shit. Mom dragged me to this shit.
She was blame your mom now. Okay.
Okay. I get it. I see.
You know what? After this is over, we're gonna have words.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, no, I mean, I went to see pretty much like all his movies in theaters, and like the ones that I actually resonated with was Hard to Kill. That was a good one. And then damn, there's like so many of them.
With the Jamaicans?
Yeah, the Jamaican one.
So who do it? The white boy hat chop?
No. Seagal's early stuff outside of his horrific run.
Yeah,
because my man can't run. It's like, bro, how you
he always had that jacket on too.
He came.
It's like, come on, bro.
But again, it's like you were saying, like we had it good. We had a run of like awesome action heroes, all stars.
Yeah,
even the B-list ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can go on and on, but the B-list ones.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is an upcoming show. Just to let the chat know, this is going to be coming up. So don't.
This
is going to be revisited.
We've been talking about this shit for like weeks,
decades.
Months.
Oh yeah,
decades.
absolutely,
long time.
Absolutely.
Long
You know
time.
what? It is an agenda. We'll save it for the next show. Because now I'm thinking about Michael Jai White, Scott Adkins. Like, they can't get mainstream to save their lives. It's
Michael Jai White had an opportunity with Spawn. Spawn had a lot of issues and problems.
He did.
His Al Simmons parts were badass. His Al Simmons stuff was great, as far as him being the military guy and all that. Once you got into all the CG, it was like,
what came first?
What?
Spawn or Universal Soldier?
Spawn.
Okay, because I was gonna say he got another chance in Universal Soldier.
He was in the first and second Universal Soldier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had another chance in Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just didn't.
Telling you, he's
crazy enough, he was smaller in Universal Soldier
He was.
than he is now, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think Mark, and again, it could be completely wrong, but I think he just does not allow himself to fit into the studio mold the way they want him to fit in. So he's like, I'm going to do my own thing. Because Black Dynamite is great.
Yes, it is.
And that's fine. I didn't see his other follow-up to that.
I love
Black. I heard it wasn't as good, but again, Black Dynamite put the bar way up
sure
there.
did.
So it's like anything that you follow with that has got to be superb, or everybody, it's not that good. It's like, well, I need to see it myself to be, the judge. So,
all right.
Yeah, go ahead, though.
Let's pivot, because I think we talked about that quite a bit. I would love to, to show off the popcorn bucket, but we only got like a half an hour or so left.
They can go to the YouTube and see the popcorn bucket. It's a link right there. Just go to our channel. It's
go to the
there.
profile. You'll see it right there. You catch a short.
Little bit of legwork.
It's up there too. All right, so let's put a couple things to bed. One being Andor. Series finale was last week. We didn't get to talk about it here on the show. I think all of us think it's very, very good Star Wars TV, but somebody else, as he told me as we was training in the gym, it was Monday. He said was it Friday?
Yeah,
when you told me? Okay, it was Friday. He told me on Friday. He's like, man, y'all need to watch some old TV, because They know there ain't nothing special about this show.
Well,
so tell us about it.
Hold on, real quick. Appreciate the 100 bits from Fab Nerd Life.
Appreciate that,
Thank you.
lady.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Very nice
that.
of you.
So I want to take a step back what I said, because everything that y'all said to me, they said it was a great Star Wars property.
We did say that.
That was what everybody said.
Yes, we did.
I won't debate that, but
Okay.
everything that I saw in the show, and again, good show, without question. But it was nothing new, that I saw. You know what I mean? Like, it was the typical, like, everything that happens in all shows. As far as you have the girl leaving, you know what I mean. You have the leader dying. You know what I mean. So good though. It was like they took all of the things that work on a TV sci-fi drama, and they inserted them in there. So for that, I have nothing negative to say.
Okay.
But what I do want to say is that's what you get. Oh, nosy ass, looking in the files ass bitch. That's what you get. You mind your damn business. Maybe you wouldn't be in no damn cell. Oh, nosy in the files ass bitch. Yeah. If you just minded your business and sent it back to where you were supposed to go.
Oh, I imagine, yeah. What would have happened had Dear Moses minded her own business?
There would be no Rogue One.
There would be no Rogue One.
All I can say is I like my man Ben Mendelsohn. When he put his finger on her head,
Yeah,
I was like, bro,
that was great.
That went back.
Disrespect.
They
Right,
said
that went back to like adults and child stuff.
yeah.
I was like, bro,
And they said that was completely ad lib.
Of course it did.
Because
He was
like,
an actor.
because when he did it, she was like, and she had to snap back in characters. I don't believe he just did that.
Now,
Right.
I don't know if that's, I don't know. It just sounds like he talks with something in his mouth, but his voice is it a lisp?
yes.
So whatever
Yes,
it is,
lisp,
he's
yeah.
mastered it.
Oh no,
Because
absolutely.
No,
he
that's-
was like,
yeah.
if you weren't a rebel spy, I can't do his voice well. He was like, well, you should have been one.
Messed your calling.
No, nosy in the files ass. That's what you get.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to the actress's name escapes me right now, but
You know that played Deidre?
yeah, no,
Mon Mothma?
not Mom Moffat, although she was fantastic as well.
You're talking about the girl that was this is her first acting gig.
Yes.
The one that played Kira or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
His daughter.
Yes, his daughter.
yeah.
She was fantastic the entire series. And when I heard that was her first acting role, I was like, "What?" And she was still in acting school as the series was going on. She just graduated, so she was like, "I was learning as I went along doing this show."
But
Crazy.
let's be fair. And again, I'm not taking anything away from her performance. But you're acting opposite Bill Skarsgård.
There you go.
So I mean, you're learning from
That's a
some of
crash
the best.
course.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
learning from some of the best already. So, and again, her performance was outstanding. I'm
Yes, it
not taking
was.
anything away from that.
It was.
But I like when it's like, okay, but you put her in the company of, and then also Ben Mendelsohn was on set on some of them, them points too. You got, that's like literally having like, okay, well, I'm about to learn how to do some stunts. Jackie Chan sitting right over there. I'm about to go sit there and talk to him for any points in between takes. And
Exactly.
glean
There you
as
go.
much as I can glean. So she had again, for a lot of people that are like, Disney doesn't know it, they know it's like she's about to be a breakout.
And I didn't know that.
Something.
Gives me more
Hand
hope.
of Omega is right. The little girl version of Clea was awesome as well.
That's one thing that they can do very well. They cast very good child actors because the girl that played Little Leia and also played Little Ahsoka was great. Say what you want about the writing, that's not her fault because she's just there to do the.
But she
she's there
did.
to do the
But she did
job.
what she was supposed to do.
Yeah, she did very well as young Leia and young Ahsoka. So
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
did.
Okay,
She was did great. So back to the Andor discussion, specifically from your standpoint. So now, when we said that other people were saying this is the greatest Star Wars anything they've ever seen, you say to that now what?
Then I mean,
The greatest Star Wars thing they've ever seen.
I don't know if I can. I can't say that.
Okay, and that's fair.
But it is good television.
Okay,
It is a good to great Star Wars property for sure. But I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it above those first 3 movies, which would be what technically the last 3. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The original trilogy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That box VHS made by THX
Right,
somewhere in my mother's attic. Yeah. I wouldn't put it above that because I've watched a ridiculous amount of television and I didn't see anything
that was
I
so
hadn't
special.
seen. Right. But for people that are diehard Star Wars fans from the comics, and know all the lore, I can't argue with them. So, but for me, I wouldn't put it, past them. But very good, very good.
Handtez has something to say about the show. He says, so the last shot of the show, and I'm assuming that he's talking about Bix and Andor's kid, earned or cliche? Too cliche. What do you got? What do you guys say to that?
That's the word, cliche. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm saying everything I saw, like it was like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not bad though.
Okay.
I think what it is because, like you said, you come from watching shows like Luther, The Wire, and stuff, so you already have a high
For sure.
standard for
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Putting Star Wars into that is okay. It's like you said, it's a good story. It just happens to be in the Star Wars world,
Right.
So there's, and again, I completely understand where you're coming from with that because a lot of people are gushing over it, and it's like. There's other shows that do this exact same thing. Star Wars has just never done this exact same thing.
Yeah.
And Star Wars is brought up to a high level by doing this sort of thing because for the longest time, original trilogy prequels and even sequels included, Star Wars has always been popcorn fun films. I don't care what people want to say is how deep it goes and this and that. Yes, it can. But at the end of the day, those films, without all of your expanded universe, all of your extra adding this is how I feel or whatever, those films, if you just look at them objectively as what they are dirt simple. Andor brought it into a higher class of like, okay, this is going to make you think. We're going to show you some more stuff.
Yeah.
There's more than 6 people that were involved in saving the entire galaxy.
For sure.
So it's like Andor finally brought it to a realm of, okay, put the kids to bed. Let's do some real Star Wars work here. Let's do some real work in this galaxy and see how these things really run, how these things really work. Versus, okay, it's basically swashbuckling with lightsabers and Jedi and Sith and all that. So it's like, and again, it's fine on both fronts. Andor just finally brought it to a point of like, okay, if you like shows like The Wire or Luther or some of the other stuff that's out there, you can watch this now and enjoy it because it's not all of that childish Star Wars stuff that you're used to. This is finally something a little bit more adult. That's why I would love to see them do a serious Vader take where he's going out murdering and killing and doing all the stuff that we know he did from those books and the comics and all that other sort of thing.
Like Vader Down.
Yes. If they did Vader Down as a show and really let it cut loose and really let it be like, this is why this man is feared in the galaxy, we got a taste of it in Rogue One. Small, just a little taste. And even in Obi-Wan, he killed that kid. I don't care what nobody says. He literally leaned over and broke that kid's neck, like right there when he was trying to draw Obi-Wan out. So I'm like, give me more of that. If you give me that diabolical, evil Vader on a show and don't pull any punches, I'll never need to watch another Star Wars thing again.
You got the source material. You got the access. You got everything you need.
Yeah.
I still think, and I get what you're saying. Yeah, we would like to see like Vader cut loose. I still want to see like the whole like a story told about the whole Sith War, like going through like the whole how the Sith like just whittled it down to the rule of two. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd be completely honest.
You and Pryor are on the same page. Give me Darth Bane. So
Exactly.
you want kind of the Darth Bane story, the going back to the Sith Empire, the Sith Civil War, basically, and then Darth Bane like, all right, I'm just gonna kill all of you and bring it down to just 2 of us.
Because this shit is ridiculous.
And to your point about doing Vader down as a series, and then we can put this to bed and do something else. I do find it interesting to explore Vader in all of his, for lack of a better term, glory. Right. When he was literally the Emperor's Emperor's fist, but also exploring the tortured psyche that he has, right?
Yeah.
The constant dreams that he would have of not being able to save Padme, his killing of the younglings, all these atrocities that he's basically always constantly struggling with himself, that he's doing. You're like, he is such a tortured soul that people don't fully grasp that about him. Yeah. They hear the voice, they hear the breathing, they see the red lightsaber, and they say, "Oh man, he's cool, he's cool, he's cool." No, man, he's a really tortured character. Like Anakin is a tragic character.
Yeah. Well, they recently came out with, or it's on its way out within a couple of weeks, a new novel about Vader. I guess they consider it to be a prequel novel. Essentially, it takes place right after he's put in the suit. Okay. And from that point, and I forgot when it ends, because they obviously they're not going to give it away.
Right.
But it goes over all, like I said, all of what you're talking about. Because even if you look at the novel, I think it was called Labyrinth of Evil was in the Attack of the Clones era. There was one that's called Rise of Vader, and it described from the moment he was put in the disorientation, all the feelings of like not being able to walk properly, because his body had to get used to it. So I think this book, like you said, this new book is going to explore the psyche. I think it's called Darth Vader, Master of Evil, or something like that. It's either about to come out or maybe it just came out, but I'm going to check into that. Hand of Omega said he liked Acolyte, but it wasn't the Sith show we were teased.
And he's right, but it still didn't deserve the hate it got.
No, it didn't.
Well, they hated on it before it came out.
They did.
Exactly. They review bombed it and ended up review bombing a movie that had the same name. So it's like, to me, if that's what you're going off of, that's supposed to be your benchmark of like, oh, this is how we review stuff. It's like you didn't even see it, so how you gonna review it?
And the funny thing about it is, like, the people that like hated on it are now pissed that they didn't get a season 2.
Because they need something else to fuel their their clickbait stuff. Yeah.
Okay, Fab Nerd Life, thank you for the correction. Yeah. It comes out June 17th. I will definitely be buying that.
Yeah, I have to definitely check that out. All right. Next thing on the docket. So it was brought to my attention right before we went live that there's a bit of controversy going on over at the fine folks at Bungie, the makers of Halo and Destiny, who are now wholly owned by Sony.
Wait, I thought Microsoft owned Bungie.
No, they
Sony,
sold them.
They sold them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now wholly owned by Sony, but still making multi-platform games.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So their new game, they're basically revitalizing an old IP. In fact, it was one of their first IPs back in 1994. There was this Macintosh. Yeah, I know Macintoshes aren't known for video games, but this is one of the first Macintosh video games. Yeah. Is known as Marathon. And it was a first-person shooter, I believe it was. Yeah. It was a first-person shooter on Mac. It had a lot of awards. It was critically acclaimed as a really, really great game. Obviously, because it was on a Mac, I never got to play it, so I didn't know anything about it.
I'll be honest with you. Me and D, we used to go to Votech. We actually played that.
Bro. When y'all should have been doing work, huh?
Bro, man, them school Macs got to work out, because that's how I used to play Karateka.
Okay.
Karateka, right. I played the hell out of that on the Apple II, man. So that was how you did it.
All right, so the controversy apparently is that Bungie, in their alpha of Marathon, was busted on a new Marathon game that they're getting ready to bring out. They were busted having stolen the work of an artist in Scotland that a lot of their devs followed on Twitter, saw his artwork and decided to say, oh, you know what? Hey, this looks cool. Why don't we just bring this and put it right into the game? Crazy stuff. Bungie first completely denied it, but then had to fess up when that developer aired them out on Twitter and showed, side-by-side proof of them literally plagiarizing his work.
Is it a woman?
No, I think it's a man. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not necessarily sure. So
and from 2017.
And from 2017. So the question to you guys is, what's going to happen to Bungie? What's going to happen to Marathon? And how often do we think this happens?
Oh, goodness. All the time.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens all the time. They should have, hey, here's 50 grand. Can we use these images that you're not using anymore? But the fact that it's 2025, AI is running rampant. They have however much money Sony is allotted them to use. So the fact that you couldn't come up as a collective with your own thing and you've stolen something from an independent artist and then tried to lie about it until that artist had to come forward. Pretty shameful. Yeah. And, again, it's always the bigger fish trying to eat the smaller fish.
Yeah.
But if this was in 2017, they probably would have got away with it. But with social media being what it is and how fast it's moving and the access is instant, they should have known better, and they should have just reached out to her. She might have took a quick 50,000. I wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what her outrage is. He was like, they'd rather just mood board my imagery and take it and put it in the game instead of just firing off a quick email to me, asking for permission.
Very, very simple.
Very simple. Yeah. Like they've already fired, I guess, the person that was
but somebody's gotta take the blame.
Yeah, but it's just like to make it right, the very least they could do is literally just give them a position
or cut them a check.
That's the other,
hold on.
Bare
give who a position? Some of the artists?
Yeah.
Oh no.
He probably was like, "Fuck y'all."
Hell no, I ain't gonna come to work for you or just hand over the settlement. I think I'll take the settlement. Get out of here. That's literally like. I think what the problem was is Bungie was trying to go with that adage of it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. It's like, no, not in business. It's better to ask permission first because you got to do forgiveness. Forgiveness going to cost.
Exactly.
It does.
Dude, give me a job. Man, that's almost like.
You just said it, yep.
That's almost like my man at 300, it was just like, I want it all. Wealth, women, and a uniform. It's like, bro, just take the wealth and the women. You gonna go out there and get killed.
You just give up the information.
It's like, I don't want the job. Give me the money, and then I'm gonna go and do more art and hope you steal some more art down the line.
There you go. And now, because she has a name, she would be more attractive to other studios,
absolutely,
who are looking for somebody, with her talent, right?
Yeah. Ego is a B. You are right about that. And 100%. Ego is a B, no question. All right. So, do we think this is happening? Can we remember any other instances where we've seen plagiarism in video game art or anything like that?
I don't know about video game art, but that one lady's been claiming she wrote Terminator and Matrix for the longest.
Oh yeah, there's that. Terminator and Matrix. Yes, you're right. But I think there was another one. And I'm always initially very skeptical when people come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh, well, you stole my work. You stole my work. You stole my work," and like I want to get compensated because anybody can say that, right? Without any real tangible proof to say that yes, they have literally. Cost you money or stolen from you. You got to prove it in a court of law. You can't just say it. Yeah, just say it, right?
The evidence.
Yeah. I don't know. So I can't think of any other instances where this has happened, but it is terrible that this did happen. And I hope this thing
is right. Ego, because Bungie is like, they're the big dogs. I mean. I can't even like count on hand how many updates they've done for Destiny. It's like right now, man, I don't even know what season they're on right now, man.
It's running strong.
Yeah, it's like that game. We know our boy. What was it? Zyman is still playing that motherfucking game. Yeah. I just logged in. He already playing. He's playing it.
He is hardcore on that one.
Yes, he is.
No doubt about that.
Speaking of Vader, and actually video games, this is something that you'll love. We're talking about Fortnite. Yeah, we talking about Fortnite. So the James Earl Jones AI is in Fortnite as Vader. Yeah, as Vader. You can walk up to Vader as your character, and he will actually interact with you and say, "Oh, by the way, did you get him to cut that line?"
Not yet. But they've been. I don't know if it'll last that long.
Yeah,
they've had him say everything.
Yeah.
Somehow from slurs to. And
you would think that would be one of the first things that they would try to program out of it.
You would think.
It's like let's be real. We all know the various slurs, so programming he can't say that. This is a couple lines of code. Yeah. He cannot say these syllables together as whatever.
And then because that was my thought process is how are these kids or young teenagers or young people, how are they getting him to say stuff that's offensive? Because that would have been the first thing on my mind as a developer is to make sure, they can't do this, especially with such a large property.
Because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, like numerous times. Like you would think, as big as Epic is, and they are pretty freaking big. They got a lot of money, but you would think they still ain't got Disney money. You know, you would think with the IP, with the litigation that that Disney has to come after them if they basically infringe on the copyright in this manner, you would think that they wouldn't want to risk the wrath of the lawyers.
I think the end user license covers them though, because this is online interaction. Yeah. So they already have so many disclaimers like, well, look, we ain't responsible for what you find online. People are just gonna be people. So this isn't something coming directly out of what they programmed in. Yes, it's an AI, but Fortnite is all online, so it's like it's covered probably under that blanket of like, okay, it's an online disclaimer. People are just gonna be stupid, so we can't do nothing about it.
Interesting.
They should have, like I said, and like you said, programmed it out where he can't say certain things. But
right. So the other part of the controversy is that apparently SAG-AFTRA is also suing Epic Games because they're saying that the Vader AI could have been voiced by another actual human being that has approximated Vader's voice in previous works before, and they should have come to the negotiating table to do that. But James Earl Jones's family signed away the rights to say specifically use his voice as Vader so he can live forever.
Exactly.
I appreciate the work that unions do for people, for the working class people. But this is the kind of dumb shit that really makes me not like them.
Let me see. So I can have the original voice for Vader
signed off by him.
For him and money to his family.
Right. Yeah. Forever.
Or I can have a sound alike. It's like, I think I'll take the original voice. I don't care that one person is not going to get that job. I'm sorry.
Right.
Vader is iconic to forever.
Yes.
Have y'all played like the Jedi survival games? The guy who did the voice of Vader. It would have been nice if they did the James Earl Jones like recording.
Yeah.
The guy who did it, not bad. But
he's not bad, but he's not James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
100%. Fabner Life says unions are just trying to get work for their people, which again, I respect it. But there, in some cases, especially with this one, when you have an iconic character, a SAG-AFTRA member, by the way, for a long time
until his passing,
right? Who is a car carrying member his entire act career? You're saying I would rather give it to a living person than to benefit the estate that would benefit his family. This is the kind of stuff that is just like, come on, man, use your brain a little bit.
No. It's fine to want to give people, unions and jobs and
I get
work
it.
and all
For
that.
sure.
But
I get
there's
it.
other jobs out there. This particular one just happens to be locked up by an AI.
Yep.
Never been done before. James Earl Jones signed off on it and said, hey, this is cool. Just make sure the money goes to my family. I have zero problems with that. There's no other real characters out there besides Darth Vader that are so tied into the actor that, with the exception of maybe C-3PO, because Anthony Daniels has done it since the beginning.
And
every iteration of it, he comes in and does it. But C-3PO, to me, I don't care. K2SO has replaced him in my mind anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
K2 is the greatest.
As far as like literally at all characters across all time, Vader's the only one where it's like, I hear James, Kevin Conroy's Batman. But obviously other people have done Batman. James Earl Jones, for me, is the only perfect version of Vader's voice.
Because he is the perfect version
of
Vader's voice. Yeah. And even with the Kevin Conroy, they were using other people while he was still alive. So it's not like, this is something that he didn't know about.
But again, like you said, when I hear Batman, I'm like reading Batman comics, I hear Kevin Conroy.
No matter
Absolutely.
what. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so wrap up the show. Oh, were you going to say something?
No, she says Fabner Life's got a reply, though. She's saying it costs less to use AI than humans, and that is coming. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I don't think from a voice acting standpoint, because especially in anime, you have some classic anime voice actors that probably ain't going nowhere. Like your Steve Blum. And a couple other people. And even on the DC side of things, your Troy Bakers and a couple of other voice actors that are doing very well. They're going to get work regardless. Like voice acting is a skill and a talent that's probably never going to be fully given over to AI.
100%.
With the exception of Darth Vader. I'm fine with that for Darth Vader because in most instances it's going to be in a show. All they got to worry about with Vader is making it sound like James Earl Jones. Obviously the AI can do that because they don't have to worry about lip sync. Because he doesn't have a mouth that you see.
Yeah, really.
Right.
So it's like they just need to, and again, they got audio engineers out there that are geniuses that'll make it sound like James Earl Jones just said that yesterday. So I'm fine with that. So no, Hand of Omega. I've seen footage of Vader with David Prowse's voice. We met David Prowse in San Diego, and it's very very clear why. That voice was replaced.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
He's a nice guy, but he ain't James Earl Jones. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. So I actually, we have been having an increased presence on TikTok. We've been, and even here on YouTube with our shorts, they've been doing very well. So all of you out there that are watching the show right now, thank you very much for your support. We plan on keeping on growing and keep on going. If you keep feeding us comments, we'll keep feeding you guys content. And in the spirit of that, I do actually want to read off a couple of some of the comments that some of the more interesting comments that I've been getting from some of our clips. Specifically, last week we touched on the reaction to the Ironheart trailer and how black people don't really mess with Riri Williams. They don't really like Riri Williams, and some people kind of took umbrage to that. Saying that this one comes from Melon Lord and says, I think people just aren't into Riri. People love Tony Stark and they love Rhodey, so you can't say it's a race thing. Even Rescue has some love. Riri just ain't that interesting. Now, some people have defended Riri coming out of Wakanda Forever. Do you guys find her character as compelling? And do you feel like we were off base by just saying that black people weren't really messing with Riri Williams, or that we weren't saying that we should give Ironheart a chance at all?
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying that black people or us as whole are not messing with her. I really think it's just like her character is not really that appealing. I mean, like I said, I mean, going back to when she was introduced in the comics. I mean, I read a couple of Ironheart books, but it was like, all I got was she's not like a poor man Tony Stark, but like a temporary replacement until he comes back. That's basically all it was. Now when I went to go see Wakanda Forever, again, her character wasn't that interesting, because all we were interested in was Namor and Shuri. That's the only person I was looking forward to seeing, seeing how she looks in the Black Panther, her version of it, how it looks and all that stuff, and then how he presents himself as king of Atlantis. But when it came down to rebuilding her own armor suit, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But the character wasn't appealing in the comics, and so far, does it seem like she's going to be appealing as a Tony Stark replacement? So
I agree with that. Anybody else want to reply?
When
to that?
we were discussing it, I thought you were referring to the books.
I was referring to the books.
Right. Yeah. Film wise, I do believe we usually show up. Well, no, it's a TV show, right?
Yeah, it's a TV show.
Yeah, it's a TV show. So on the TV show, I do believe, that people will give her a chance because the culture usually does try to give everybody a shot. But,
yes.
Yeah, but when we were discussing it, I thought it was more so about,
it was about the
books.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
you're not a big comic book
No,
reader,
no,
right?
I read books. I'm saying maybe I don't think there are that many...
Go ahead and say it. Be frank. Go ahead and say it.
I don't want to be publicly online saying what I'm... But... I don't think a lot of her books were coming off the shelves in certain, certain situations.
Okay.
So when you said that she wasn't popular by us, that was what, that was how I took it, not from television or from movies, but more so in the books. And then that's why we got to talking about, is it on the writing?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think one of the things you run into, especially when the argument comes up about Ironheart and Riri Williams, is people are like, oh, her book got canceled. And it's like, no, she was part of a limited series, 12-issue run. So when issue 12 came up, that was the end of the series. She's guest starred in some other stuff, had some annual appearances and that sort of thing. But people always try to have that argument of, oh, her book got canceled. It's like, no. The difference between canceled and here's the story arc that we're running and it ends here. She shows up in other stuff. So it's like, I think people had that narrative already in their head that she wasn't popular in the comics and all that sort of thing because her book suddenly, disappeared. Secondly, it's like she was an interesting character in Wakanda Forever because you knew what was coming later. The actress's portrayal of her, at least in that movie, not so much irritating, but it was this stereotypical smart, sassy, slightly angry black girl. And it's just like, I don't have a problem with it, but you need to give me more moments of showing how brilliant she is and for the standout. And I think the TV show have an opportunity to do that because, again, she was a guest star in Wakanda Forever. This wasn't focused on her.
Correct.
We got a little taste of her, a little bit of, here's what she's about. She shows up in the final battle, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't her movie. It wasn't her time to shine. She was just there as a, partial catalyst of how they found vibranium, blah, blah, blah.
100%.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her series. I'll obviously pass judgment once I see the series, though. Sure. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm not gonna watch it. It's like it's there. I got time. I'm just gonna check it out. If the first couple of episodes are interesting, cool. I'll stay to the end. So I can't really pass judgment on it until I see it. But like anything, it's. People always like, having that argument of who asked for this. It's like, well, who asked for Iron Man?
Who asked for anything?
Who asked for Star Wars?
Yeah.
Who asked for Star Trek? Who asked for any? It's at some point somebody was like, you know what? I want to do this thing. I'm going to put it out there and see if the people like it. That's how we get stuff. So
100%.
That's the only thing you can do with the Ironheart thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Put it out there and they're going to see if people like it.
Right. Speaking of the Nintendo. The Nintendo misinformation video that was doing numbers. Darrell Broussard 975 commented, speaking about Nintendo and having the prices and breaking your system. He said, "I stopped buying them years ago. $500 for a system and $80 for a game. Stop buying for a year. Watch the price plummet. Gotta starve them out." What do you say to that about Nintendo?
I would say yes, but that's never going to happen.
Exactly.
Because people are going to make their purchases.
Yes.
But it has been proven that if we all moved collectively, they wouldn't have a choice. But for the 4 million that say we're not buying, there'll be 8 million in pre-orders. So they don't care. But yes, so I agree. If collectively we did that, yes, Nintendo wouldn't have a choice. But they know
that ain't happening.
Well, it's not so much that it's not going to happen. I mean, and again, I don't think it would happen either. I think what it is people have to be very realistic about the pricing of games throughout the years. Yes, you have a lot of young people that are not aware that Super Nintendo games used to cost $80 and up in the early 90s. You have a lot of stuff where, like, for example, when N64 came out and it was hard to find the games, I remember Shadows of the Empire, FuncoLand was trying to sell that for $125. So it's not a new thing of games costing money. Games have always cost money. It's not until you got to CD-based games where the price was kind of hard set at $50 for a time for the PlayStation 1 stuff and some of the Sega Saturn stuff. It was a hard set of like, okay, these discs are cheap to produce. We don't have to make cartridges no more. Here's what the price is going to be. Then it crept back up, and now it's just crept back up again. So now we're kind of back to the $80 that we all had to pay for certain Super Nintendo games, especially Street Fighter II, when that first dropped. So it is what it is. And like, to your point, if you don't buy, somebody else will.
That's right.
And it's just like a Hydra. It's like,
it
okay,
never
cut you
fails.
off. There's two more out there that's going to do it anyway.
100%.
So boycotts rarely work in an industry like the video game industry because people want their entertainment. Right. They just do.
Yeah, people want to be first.
Yeah.
Especially now and where the world is driven by content. it's a race, to who can put out the
Exactly.
content first.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's saying, "Oh yeah," and we all know this. Every year, man comes out. The game comes out, and there's so many bugs.
I'm so far off that train.
I'm just saying though.
They're still making money.
They're still making money.
But it's like this. It's like every year it comes out and it's trash, or like the whole pay to play and all that stuff. It's like, oh yeah. Stop buying the game. Stop buying the game. It's like, that ain't happening. Ain't nobody's going to stop buying.
Clockwork. Them fools is there pre-ordering day one.
Yes,
they're all
exactly.
time. Yep.
Exactly. It's like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to, people are, like you said, you got content creators and you also have like the diehards.
Yes.
They're going to literally just like shell out the hell, there are people buying it for like $100 for the day ones.
But diehard fools.
Total fool.
Well, I mean,
they're paying for a roster update. They're paying for a roster update. Never, ever fails.
Yeah. Fab Nerd Life, appreciate
Thank you for the 10 bits. Appreciate you.
And she said that's what she did with her Switch. She said she's a price watcher, which is fair. I mean, the great Dadakuchi, he buys a lot of his games budget. Like, he waits till they go down in price.
Ain't they waffles?
The only problem is
he has 1,000
and that's
games.
fine. That's absolutely fine. There's always a new game that's coming. Just like with me in films. I got over 1,600 movies.
Hello.
But guess what? There's always a new movie that I'm going to buy. I think the thing that you're running into, unfortunately, with the Nintendo side of things, Nintendo first party games do not go down in price. All. It takes years for those Nintendo games to drop, even like $5 sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's
like, dog, like, man, no, man.
So those $80 Mario Karts or whatever, they're going to be $80 for the
next
until
2 years.
Yeah, 3 years down the line, they'll still be 80.
2, 3,
Yeah, man.
5, 6, 7, 8. They'll be the same
like,
price.
man, I'm telling you, that AAA game that's on Steam, that's like $69.99 on day one. Just wait like 5 months, that boy will be down by half.
Oh no, absolutely.
By half. Or wait for a Steam sale. It'll be even further.
Every Assassin's Creed has been like that. Assassin's Creed. Now, Shadows actually held on longer. I think Shadows had a slight dip, just a quick sale during like one of the holidays or whatever. But Shadows has been full price since, for the most part, since launch. And normally by now, an Assassin's Creed game is half price.
Yeah.
By now, and then $20 within the next couple of months.
What's the reason for that? You think it's because
I think Shadows is just successful. And
it's just successful.
F all the haters, but
exactly.
but like Shadows just did its thing because it's a good game. It's solid.
Okay, all right. Now wait, so you play Shadows? I'm assuming quite a bit, right?
No, I mean I played enough of it because remember I got the collector's edition, so
right.
So I played it. I want to say put about 5 hours into it. It's a fun game.
All right, that's fine. I think that's decent enough. Decent enough play for sample size. Would you say it is a better feudal Japan game than Ghost of Tsushima?
It's a different feudal Japan game than Ghost of Tsushima because remember you're playing two different styles of character.
Okay.
Is it the same era though? Because like.
Yeah, that's around the same era.
Yeah, it's close. Close enough. I mean, it's the thing is it's Assassin's Creed, so it's not historically accurate at all. And it's not trying to be. It's a fun, you're in feudal Japan, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on that's not necessarily feudal Japan. So it's fine.
Yeah, hell, Valhalla's like you run around, you can grab either both Thor hammer and Odin spears. Like, what the fuck is that, man?
Right, exactly.
That didn't even make sense.
Right.
Exactly. So
hey, it's a video game. It's not supposed to make sense.
Yeah.
You're an assassin, though.
Yeah. And?
Would you be assassin throwing lightning bolts?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's going to be like an act of God.
Oh, we're
all right. Well, it's been a good show, I think.
It has been a really, really good show. I want to thank everybody that's been on Twitch and on YouTube for checking us out. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the past hour. Make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell to get a notification when we're going live again next week. Make sure you go and check out GQ's latest unboxing video, the Mission Impossible one. Also, go check out his most recent full unboxing, which was Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka. A fantastic figure. Looking forward to that as well, and plenty of other things that I think he's got getting ready to come out this weekend. Go and see Mission Impossible. We'll talk about it next week. We'll give you our thoughts on the movie. as well. Hope you guys have a great and safe Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you save a slab of ribs from good old Megashawn here.
Don't say no ribs for me.
You don't like no ribs? Baked beans?
I don't trust everybody's.
Coleslaw?
Can't trust everybody's pork, man. I don't know.
I understand that. Oh, but you would trust just anybody's apple crisp? Would you do that?
No, not just anybody.
Just mine.
I mean, the
So
way
you
you're
never-
sounding that, it sounds away.
So hold on.
Listen, I don't eat nobody's apple crisp. I understand.
Hey, don't be calling me there.
I ain't nobody's. Yes, sir.
So you're saying that you never came over to the crib and had
See?
some of my dad's ribs?
Your dad is a trusted source.
So why?
What about mine?
But I was also long. I have resigned from the swine some time ago.
Oh, he lied. He lied.
I'm being for real.
He's so lying.
It's the truth. I mean, now, like, if
Reside from the
every
swine.
now and then, if it's somebody's house that I trust, for sure. But you know, if you take that out of your system and then throw it back in, that could be a rough evening.
Yeah.
And
You gonna be on the
yeah,
road.
yeah, and I ain't got time for that.
Okay.
I feel you.
All right, y'all. Hope you guys stay safe out there. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you all. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central next Wednesday for Culture Junkies Live. I'm Kishiro. This is
Mega Sean.
That's GQ. Simon Says. Peace out, everybody. Have a great one.
Do it, Rockefeller.